Welcome to this complete step-by-step YouTube automation guide for beginners. In this tutorial, I'll show you exactly how you can go from zero to making $5,000 to $10,000 per month on YouTube without having to show your face or create any videos yourself. We'll also talk about why YouTube automation might be the best fit for you if you want to start a side hustle or want to replace your current stream of income. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Rosman Parashiv, and since starting YouTube automation back in 2019, I made over $700,000 from my portfolio of YouTube automation channels. You can see proof of that right now on the screen. I also run the biggest educational YouTube automation company on earth, serving over 3,000 students, where we show people how to start and scale and make money with their YouTube automation channels. In this 1-hour video, I'll share with you everything that I believe to be essential for you to start and have success with YouTube automation, and there are the lessons that I've learned over the years. Let's go. Okay, so first, what is YouTube automation and why are we even talking about it? In a nutshell, YouTube automation is the art and the business of running faceless YouTube channels without you being involved in the content creation process. As I said earlier, you do not need to record in front of a camera like I'm doing right now, edit any of your videos, or actually be involved in the content creation process at all. Instead, you are the business person behind the channel, and all you need to do is to get a team of content creators who will do the content for you, take those videos, upload them to YouTube, and get paid by the end of the month by YouTube for the views that the videos generated. You hire other people like scriptwriters, voiceover actors, video editors, and thumbnail designers for a fixed, flat rate, and that's why we call it YouTube automation, because you do not need to be involved in the content creation process, and instead you use systems, processes, and people to do all the hard work for you while you're still the one getting paid at the end of the day. And we're talking about this today because YouTube automation has huge income potential. As I said, you're paying your team of content creators or freelancers a fixed flat rate per video, but since there is no cap on how much money a YouTube video can generate or how much money a YouTube channel can generate, the profits are not capped. From each video, you can make money from YouTube AdSense, affiliate marketing, brand deals, or even selling your own products. And because you're not the one appearing in front of the camera, the business model is not capped. You can have as many channels as you want. I personally have 7, but you can have 1, 3, 5, 10. How many channels do you want that will all printing money for you? And guys, there are so many other benefits to starting and scaling a YouTube automation business. You can run the channel completely anonymously. You don't have to invest in expensive filmmaking equipment, and your videos will make passive income for you while you sleep. Compared to other platforms like TikTok or Instagram, which will pretty much kill your video after 24 or 48 hours, a video is never dead on YouTube, and once it's posted, if it gets traction, it will make you money for years and years to come. And remember, a video is a permanent asset. So a video you create this year will be delivering compounding interest for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years. As long as YouTube is still out there as a platform, you will still get paid for that one video. Finally, YouTube automation is an amazing business model because you can work from anywhere in the world, and all you need is your laptop, an internet connection, and just 4 to 5 hours per week to manage the entire operation. And if you cannot be bothered to run your channels for many years, once you build it and turn it into an asset, you can sell that for a yearly multiple. The profit margins for YouTube automation can be crazy. When I first started, I was paying $30 for a clip, and this is what I was getting in return. In the first month, I only made $10 total, so I was losing some money there. That went up to $70 in month 2, $360 in month 3, over $3,000 in month 4, and over $8,000 from AdSense revenue alone, $10,000 total in month 5, and that is with me paying the same $30 for the cost of producing the videos. It's not all that fun and easy though. On those 5 months, I was really focusing on making a lot of mistakes, learning fast, bouncing back, and reinvesting all the profits that I had back into the channel so I can scale it that fast. But I know for a fact that all the hassle was worth it, because right now we have figured out a way, we have figured out a system that allows us to take a channel from zero to anywhere around $5,000 per month in less than 6 short months, and we've done that many times. And right now, in this 1-hour video, I'll teach you exactly how to do that as well. We'll cover the following things: how to choose the perfect money-making niche for your first YouTube channel, how to set up a sleek and professional YouTube channel, how to set up a sleek and professional YouTube homepage, how to assemble a dream team of freelancers who will turn your ideas into reality, and guys, this is the huge one because I believe that the team is 80% of the business. How to produce videos that will generate thousands of views and make you money for years to come, how to manage your channels and keep them cash flow positive with minimal effort, and finally, we'll talk about how you can understand and master the YouTube game, because this is what it is, it's a money-making game. The system is pretty easy to understand, guys, but I've packed it with a lot of information, so make sure to save it so you can come back at it later. First things first, let's talk about how you can choose a niche for a YouTube automation channel. A YouTube niche is simply the main subject that your YouTube channel will create videos about. For example, if you want to create videos about Tom Brady, Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, you are gonna go in the sports niche. If you wanna post videos about luxurious mansions, expensive cars, and jewelry, then the luxury niche is gonna be your choice. The main reason we need a niche when it comes to a YouTube automation channel and we don't just post any random video that crosses our head is because we wanna build a real audience. An audience that will watch all of the videos and make us money for watching them all. It is much easier to get people to follow you when they know exactly what to expect, when are you gonna deliver it, and they know that the quality is sustainable. That's how you build a real fan base. It's also easier for the YouTube algorithm to categorize those videos and recommend them to the best people, driving your marketing for free if you stick within the certain topic, because then there will build a pattern for your channel. Here's a quote from Warren Buffett that I really like. It's not important how hard you row, but what boat you're in. And it's exactly like that when it comes to choosing your niche for the first YouTube automation channel. And don't get me wrong, you can still have success even though if you haven't chose the best niche from the beginning, but sometimes choosing the wrong niche can cost you a lot of time, money, and energy, can drive you on a wrong path that will take you months or years to recover from. So we want to focus on finding the right niche, and we do that through research from the beginning, so you make sure that you are in the best spot to make as much money from YouTube AdSense. YouTube AdSense is YouTube's partner program where advertisers are paying the platform money to place adverts on top of the videos, before the videos, or at the end of the videos, and once your channel reaches 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the last 365 days, you officially qualify to become a partner of the YouTube program, where YouTube will give you a cut of the earnings, 55% to be exact. You can figure out your YouTube channel's AdSense revenue by looking at the RPM, or revenue per mille. This is roughly how much you get paid for every 1,000 views on your channel. That's 55% of the CPM in most cases, or cost per mille, which is exactly how much advertisers are paying YouTube for the same thousands of views. So to quickly recap here, we have two numbers that we're looking at. We have the CPM, which is cost per mille. This is what advertisers are paying YouTube. And then we have RPM, which is revenue per mille, which is your part of the deal. So how does this connect to your niche? Well, advertisers will not pay the same amount of money to advertise in front of 1,000 5-year-olds and when they pay to advertise in front of 1,000 people working on Wall Street. If you have a channel in a niche about American real estate, for example, most likely your viewers are going to be highly educated, wealthy people that are most likely looking to buy or just like luxury homes that are most likely already spending a amount of money. So then advertisers like American Express or BMW, for example, will be more enticed to place adverts and pay a higher amount of money to show ads in front of those viewers, because they know that the chance of them converting is much higher than if they would pay for ads in front of 5-year-olds. But if you choose a niche like handmade pottery, most likely the people watching that are not going to be the wealthiest and the people that are spending the most money. Therefore, advertisers are not going to make a line paying for your ads. So choose your niche wisely, guys. Make sure that you target the people that you want to target. And one more thing that you want to keep in mind when choosing your niche is this. It's easier to get a higher number of teenagers to watch the videos because that's what they do all day. They watch content on YouTube and play video games. On the other hand, it's harder to get middle-aged adults working real jobs that will have a higher buying power. So this whole CPM, RPM thing is also balanced out about how easy it is to get a high number of views. You gotta keep that in mind. Ultimately, the goal is to maximize your AdSense earnings while also keeping in mind how hard is it gonna be to get a high amount of views. So you might say, Ross, that's all fine, but how do I actually choose my niche? Well, there are 3 things that I want you to consider before going out there. Number 1, which is a personal benchmark, is can I make $10,000 per month in this niche? If you're thinking about starting a channel about sports, then the answer is yes. There are already a bunch of YouTube automation channels out there making content about sports, and they're making well over $5,000 or $10,000 per month. So you know that the concept is already proven and there is space for you to go in the game. The RPMs, or your earnings for a sports channel, would be middle, around $4 to $5 per 1,000 views, because the audience is pretty diverse. You can have CEOs who like to watch a good football game sitting on the couch, but you can also have 15-year-old fans who are raving and watching all the games. On the other side, could you really make $10,000 per month if you were to make a channel about fishing rods? Probably not. There are just not a lot of people who would sit on the couch and watch your videos each and every single day, or at least weekly, about fishing rods. They just watch it once, they buy the fishing rod, and then they go fishing. They don't watch it again. Bottom line, you just need to ask yourself and do the research. Are there enough people who would watch this recurrently for me to make over $10,000 per month? Again, competition is a good sign. It means that it's possible and there's somebody doing it there. I like having competitors because I know all I need to do is to get closer to their quality or maybe a little bit better than them, and then it's gonna be possible. On the other side, if you have no competition, it doesn't matter if you are unique. If there are people who are not gonna watch your content because they're just not interested, it's gonna be very hard for you to get views and therefore make money. The second question I want you to ask yourself is, can I make $10,000 per month for at least 3 to 5 years to come? Now we're getting a little bit deeper. YouTube automation is a long-term game. You want to make sure that you get in a niche that will allow you to make a good amount of money, not today, tomorrow, next week, next month, but next year or 3 to 5 years down the road. Of course, you're gonna make small tweaks here and there, maybe small changes of theme, but we don't want to change the entire channel or have to pivot the entire strategy for us to keep making money, because that will take a lot of time, and ultimately, we want to do this as passive as possible. For example, Metaverse was a very hot topic a couple months back. If you search Metaverse on YouTube right now, you'll see that there are not a lot of videos being created, there are not a lot of creators who are still posting, although if you were to search Metaverse a couple months ago, you'd be flooded with information. The game has already taken a dip, so most likely creators have pivoted, have been forced to pivot and change their game strategy because people just don't want to watch Metaverse content anymore. Another good example that I gave back then was NFTs. Everybody was hyped about NFTs at the beginning of 2022, and everybody and their grandma was making a queue to start an NFT channel. The market for NFTs is not as sexy right now, so there are not a lot of people who would like to watch that type of content. Therefore, again, there's not a lot of money to be made, at least on YouTube. Motivational content, on the other hand, has been around for ages and is not gonna go away in the future because people will always need that good motivational video when they go to the gym, they're in traffic, or they just have a bad day. So a good rule of thumb here is you want to find competitors who have been in the game for at least 1 or 2 years, and you have to ask yourself, well, is this something that I believe is going to stay relevant long term, where people are going to still want to watch it? And if the answer is yes, then you can go ahead. And transitioning into the last question, which is a little bit optional in my opinion, is going to be, are you interested in the topic yourself? You might want to choose a space that you're interested in, or at least have the desire to get interested in, because you'll need to do a little bit of research. You'll need to do QC, quality control on your videos, and see if the team is creating good quality, accurate information, which might take you a couple hours per week. If you're not passionate at all about makeup and you have to spend a couple hours per week doing research about makeup, that's probably not gonna be a pleasant experience. But that doesn't go to say that a makeup channel cannot make you money. Knowing stuff about your niche before you go into it will also give you what I call information leverage. This means you just know more than your competitors when it comes to YouTube automation, and that eventually will give you an edge. There are also multiple types of leverage that you can apply when it comes to YouTube automation. You can have talent leverage, where you are able to put a better team than your competitors. You also have financial leverage, where you can invest more money into creating higher quality or longer videos or more videos than your competitors, which again will give you an edge. One more thing before we go into the next thing is that you want to be a little bit careful when we talk about passion. Your passion might not be exactly the best niche that you can go in if you want to make money. For example, I love business and I know I'm gonna be an entrepreneur for the rest of my life. But YouTube automation business channels look something like this. We have Hook and we have the Company Man. Those are great channels and they make a lot of money, but also two other things that they have in common is that they post very high quality of videos that require a lot of time, money, and effort from the team, and they have a huge backlog of videos backed by an audience which would take me at least 1 year to build. So when it comes to making money within the first 4 to 6 months with a low investment, starting a channel like Hook or Company Man, which are my passions, is not gonna be the best move. It's just not aligned with my goals. I can keep watching the channels, but I'm not gonna invest in them. What YouTube automation niches would I recommend for a beginner? Well, I have 3 choices for you right now. Number 1, sports. Whether that be a journal sports channel where you talk sports news, or a specific sports channel where you only cover Formula 1, basketball, or football. This is a great niche. Luxury, where you talk about houses, jets, planes, or again, you niche it down to only talk about one of these. Or cars and other vehicles, which is a very undersaturated market that there's a lot of room and a lot of money on the table. If you look carefully, you'll see that all those niches that I mentioned have a couple things in common. People will always be interested in the topics, and there's always new content to talk about. The RPMs are quite high because the content is about money and luxury lifestyles. A lot of competitors are making big money in these niches already, which is a good sign. And you don't need to be an expert in the field to make a lot of money because the information is pretty mainstream and everybody can do research about it. Again, those are just a couple suggestions that I have for beginners. If you have some sort of edge or leverage, there might be better options for you out there. Now, I also want to give you a list of YouTube automation channels or YouTube automation niches that I want you to avoid and stay away from. Compilation channels. This is where you take other people's clips from internet or TikTok or Instagram, you put them together in an editing software, post them to YouTube, and hope to make some money. I bet that crossed your mind already. Those videos can either be meditation sound videos, funny fails, or any other compilations, maybe car crash compilations. The reason why I wanted to stay away from this is because this is not original content. As per YouTube guidelines, original content is not going to be able to monetize. There is simply not added value. Everybody can go ahead, steal somebody else's content, chop it up, put it in an editing software, and upload it to YouTube. But YouTube does not value not original content, and therefore, you will not be able to put ads on the videos and get paid for them. You might say, but Raz, I already have that channel and it's making me money, or I heard this guy on TikTok or on YouTube that's saying he's making money with those types of channels. I'm not saying that doesn't work at all. There are some people who can get away for it. But how long can I get away from it for? Is it 1 week, 1 month, maybe a couple months? I've tried that before, multiple times actually, and in the span of 6 months, all those channels lost monetization and they forced me to go back to square one, losing all the progress. Second type of channels that I want you to avoid is old-fashioned niches. An old-fashioned niche is when big, successful competitors have a monopoly in the niche. They started 4, 5, 6 years ago, and apart from them, there's nobody else making content in the niche, which raises a red flag for me. If it's such a big game, such a big market, why are there only big competitors playing that game? Why are not new people coming up with videos? Most likely, we are not the first ones to think about the idea, so it's either two options. 1, a lot of people have tried and failed, which I don't want to go that route. Or 2, it's a very new thing that only you heard about. It's most likely option 1 though. Again, the easiest way to spot an old-fashioned channel or an old-fashioned niche is if you cannot find anybody under 100,000 subscribers, or maybe who started in the last year alone, I would stay away from that niche. Lastly, high production channels. Earlier we mentioned Hook and the Company Men, but there are also other channels, maybe in the history niche, maybe in the space niche, or something very specific, which will require you to get experts in the field to be able to put up cohesive information. You don't want to do that, especially as a beginner, because it's going to take you a lot of time to put together a team and a lot of money to sustain the production. For example, this channel right here. This is an animated channel that I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but it's a faceless channel. You would say, well, this is a YouTube automation channel, so I could start it. But if you look behind, they have an entire team of animators which are probably paid hundreds of dollars to do those drawers, and the channel has been around for so long that they have a big monopoly in the space, which will take you years and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to compete with. So keep it simple, guys. Do not try to reinvent the wheel. Go with something that's already successful and try to find your edge. Try to find something specific to you or specific to your niche, and then you will have success even if you do not reinvent the wheel. Once you've chosen your niche, it's time to set up your account. You can do this real quick. Just go to youtube.com and sign up using your Google account and putting in some personal details. I recommend you set up a new Gmail address so you keep the business separate from your old personal life, or you have 10,000 emails in the junk folder. Once your YouTube account is created, you'll need to choose a profile picture and a channel cover. Canva, it's a great resource for this because they have a big selection of cover photo templates and customizable logos. So if I want to create a logo for my gaming channel, I can just search for a gaming logo and a bunch of templates will appear. I go ahead, choose one, customize it to my liking, and then I just download it to my computer, upload it to YouTube, and we're done. Same thing with the channel banner or the channel art. Just search YouTube banner or YouTube channel art, customize it, and download it. Finally, we have an about section of your YouTube channel. Some channels don't even bother to do this and they are still making money, so it's not mandatory to do this. But if you want it to look a little bit more professional, just go in there, use ChatGPT to write a good description about the channel niche that you're in and paste that in there. Do not overcomplicate it because this is not gonna make you money. And with that being said, your channel is now fully set up. Next up, you need a team because otherwise it's not YouTube automation. It's just you spending countless hours and learning a bunch of skills to make money on YouTube. And I cannot emphasize on this enough, guys. Putting together a great team is the biggest leverage you can have. It's the most important thing when it comes to YouTube automation. You can have great ideas, but if your team is not up to par and if they're not doing the videos on time, it's not going to be relevant because people do not want to watch content that is bad, they're not interested in, or that has posted months after the thing goes relevant. Now, first off, I mostly use Fiverr and Upwork.com when it comes to hiring freelancers. I've tried a lot of other platforms like onlinejobs.ph, 99 Designs, and so on, but I found Fiverr and Upwork to be the best option when it comes to getting the best quality for your dollar. Now, there are 4 steps to making a YouTube video, and you'll need one freelancer for each role: script writing, voiceover, editing, and thumbnail design. Let's start with the actual script. You'll need a scriptwriter which will write the narrative for your video. It's most likely gonna be a Google Doc or a PDF. Also, thinking in mind that somebody's gonna read that, so they've gotta make it readable. When I first started out with YouTube automation, I made a huge mistake in regards to scriptwriting. Because I didn't know anything about the subject and I wasn't really passionate about writing, I deemed it not to be important. I learned after a couple months of failing that it's actually the foundation of the whole thing. Think about it, the video is built on the script. You can have great editing, great effects, a great voice, and nice visuals, but if what you're talking about is not relevant and people do not really care, or is not coherent, nothing of that is gonna matter and people are gonna leave just in seconds, leaving you with $0. For scriptwriters, the main thing I care about is experience. If you wanna go in the make money online niche, Ideally, you want somebody who's been there and done that, so you don't need to do research for them. You don't need to QC their work because again, they already know what works, what doesn't, which will save you a lot of time, money, and energy over a long enough time horizon. Also, it would be a great advantage if they're personally interested in the topic. It would be hard for me as a scriptwriter, what I don't like anything about NBA, to compete with someone who's writing scripts and watching all the games, watching Instagram pages about it, watches YouTube videos about it. They just know much more than I do, and I will have to compensate for that with a lot of work, a lot of money, or a lot of time. A good tip here that I get a lot of questions about is that the scriptwriter doesn't have to be native American or native English speaking. I have a lot of scriptwriters from Europe or even Africa, and they're doing an amazing job because they either know English themselves or they're using a bunch of tools to correct their grammar where they're making mistakes. That will also help you with the budget, and to start out, I will definitely hire somebody who's charging $10 per hour or below. The procedure here is pretty simple. Go to Upwork.com, write a job ad looking for a YouTube scriptwriter, and specify that it would be $10 per hour or less. You will soon get a good list of people who are recently priced applying for your job. As a rule of thumb, they need to write about 1,500 words for a 10-minute script, which will probably take about 2 hours, so we're looking at anywhere from $20 to $30 for an average mainstream script. Before you hire them, make sure to ask them for previous track record, previous experience of scripts that they have written, and the results that those scripts have generated on YouTube, and make sure that you're very specific on communication and timelines. What time do you expect them to deliver at? Is it a 24 window or a 48-hour window? Is it a 1-week delivery or a 1-day delivery? This is very important because otherwise it's gonna come back at you in the future. I'm just saying this because I've done that mistake so many times. Let's talk about voice actors. Things here are much more straightforward. You can judge somebody's quality of voice just by listening to it. Hiring a voiceover actor is easier than a scriptwriter, and it's pretty straightforward because you can tell how good someone is just by listening to it, and you don't need to be an artist to do that. I'd suggest for this one you go on Fiverr and search up for voiceover artists. I would make sure that you're looking for no agencies and filter by price before DMing several people to work for you. If you're starting out, you can get away with only spending $10 for an entire voiceover for the whole 8 to 10 minute script, and as you get more advanced or budget is higher, you can maybe raise that up to $15 or $20, but I wouldn't really go higher if you do not want to get something very fancy. 2 things to keep in mind when hiring a voiceover actor. First, the tone of their voice. Most of the time, I would go for native people. If you want to make the videos in English, go for a native American. If you want to make the videos in Spanish, go for a native Spanish speaking. Secondly, make sure that I got a good recording equipment. You just gotta make sure their videos do not sound like this. It's a good sign if they have a good mic, soundproofing on their walls, or they're investing in the equipment because it means that they're serious and want to do this for long term, or already have done this for years, which means they're experienced. Thirdly, they have to have a conversational voice. This is something that I didn't know in the beginning, but voiceover acting is not just reading words on a script. It's not reading a piece of paper. It's actually emphasizing on certain words, slowing down when needed, and making sure that you deliver the best result so the viewer stays on for the longest amount of time possible on your video. The easiest way to make sure somebody's voice is good before hiring them is just ask for a sample. Give them a random 2 to 3 minute script and have them read that for you before you hire them so you see if they're a fit for your project. Next thing is the video editing role. After the scriptwriter, the video editor also plays a huge role, and the best video editors are literally geniuses, wizards when it comes to editing because the skill is such complex. The editor has to take the script and audio file from the voiceover actor and craft them into something that keeps viewers hooked for minutes and minutes. That includes assembling the necessary footage, stock footage, social media pictures or screenshots, short clips from movies or songs, and then using transitions, sound effects, and a million other things that all come together. So you need a pre-experienced person, or at least somebody who's very passionate in the beginning stages, to do all this thing. Again, the best way here is to look for experience. If they've edited similar videos to what you want to get done, you are most likely gonna hit a home running. Again, the easiest way here to make sure you have a good video editor is to look at their portfolio. Do they have similar edits to the videos that you want to create? Have they done this for other channels like yours? And then I know this might sound very specific, but it's better to spend a couple more hours in the beginning finding the right person than going for the wrong person, spending time with them, spending money with them, or having to coach them up from the ground when they haven't even done that themselves. The procedure for hiring a video editor is the same as for the scriptwriter. Go to Upwork.com, write a simple job ad, and process the applications as they come in. To start with, you would probably need around $20 to $30 per editing. This is the most expensive part of producing a video because it's very time intensive and it requires a specialized skill. One more thing that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to video editors is you need to make sure that they are aware of the copyright rules. Now, you don't need to worry about all of that, but here's what I tend to do to make sure that my editor knows what he's talking about. I ask my editors to take the files and upload them to one random channel of theirs to see if they get any copyright strikes. If the video is good to go, they can send it to me. But if they get copyright material, they need to go back, edit the pieces out, and then send the videos for a review. Every time you hire an editor, I recommend you do this for the first 10 or 15 videos, no matter how the experienced person is, so you make sure that they are good. They can use websites like Storyblocks or Envato Elements. They have millions of copyright-free pieces of content that your editor can use. A not so common problem that I've experienced, but I want to share this with you, is their workload. A lot of editors are workaholics and they tend to take too many gigs. They're editing videos for 5 YouTube channels, they're also videographers at 3 weddings per week, and they also are helping their mom and pop business shop with some extra content. Now, that's not bad if they can still deliver your videos on time, but whenever I see such a huge workload, I tend to take a step back and make sure that they can deliver the videos on time and they can create the same quality over and over again. Again, I just thought I might share this with you. The best video editors I've ever worked with are from Eastern Europe. Countries like Romania, Bulgaria, Slovakia, Macedonia. They're literally wizards when it comes to video editing, and you can get the same quality you would get in the US for a fraction of the price. Finally, we have the thumbnail designer. The thumbnail is more important than a lot of people think. Before the person gets to see your script, your voice, or edit, they need to click on the video first. And if the thumbnail is not good enough, they're not gonna click, so everything else becomes irrelevant. The most important thing to keep in mind and look for here is you wanna make sure you don't just get a graphic designer who knows how to do things in Canva or Photoshop. That's not what we're looking for. A thumbnail designer is somebody who has designed thumbnails for YouTube before, knows how to do that, knows how to drag people's attention, knows how to keep people's attention, know what's controversial, knows what can go viral and whatnot, and you can get all of this for $5 to $10 per piece if you do the right research. You want to look at their portfolio, what channels they've worked with, what are their reviews, all that good stuff, and most likely I tend to hire my thumbnail designers on Fiverr. Now guys, when you're hiring all of these roles, what you want to do is you want to make sure you apply leverage. That's one of my favorite words, and I'm going to show you how you can get a 30 to 40% discount on each of those roles if you know what you're doing and if you do it properly and at the right time. First, you do not need to get discouraged by their initial ask. You can get a video done easily for $40 to $60 in most of the niches, but that's not what the freelancers are going to start quoting you at. The way this works is that most of the freelancers are used to clients who are just one-night stands, meaning they place a small $20 to $30 order and they're gone. There's no long-term relationship or collaboration involved. But that's not the case with us. We want a longer-term deal with a consistent output, which means consistent work for the freelancers, and that's our volume leverage. So let's say a video editor pitches you $50 per video. You can say something like this: listen, I can give you $50 per video now, but in reality, I'll be much more comfortable giving you 30, 35, or 40. The reason is, I'm looking to post 3 or 4 videos per week for the next coming months, which will give both you and me a consistent flow, a consistent relationship, and in the end, you're gonna make much more money by working with me for the long term than charging me $50 now and then me not being able to pay you that in the future. They will understand that a long-term relationship, collaboration, and lowering their prices now will also give them a huge advantage and make more money in the long term. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying everybody's gonna take this offer. 50% of them are probably not even gonna reply. Another 50% of them are not gonna be interested. But if you do this with enough people on a larger scale, you will definitely get good talent at discounted prices. Okay guys, so now that you know how to assemble your team of a scriptwriter, voiceover, video editor, thumbnail designer, you might be thinking, Ross, can I just hire an executive assistant or a personal assistant to manage this whole thing for me? Or a social media manager? Maybe you've seen somebody on Fiverr or Upwork.com telling you that they're gonna manage the entire production for you, they're a one-man show, and they can do everything for you for a cheap dollar. In my opinion, this is a very bad idea. I've been there and done that, and let me tell you why. In 99% of the cases, the person offering that service is most likely a middleman, and this makes me do the following. Spend more money because I now have to pay for his cuts as well, have less quality control, so less control over the production, less training options. I cannot talk to the freelancers directly and tell them what I want changed, how I want them to improve. I build no relationship with the team, which in the long term is very valuable, and I'm very vulnerable if the person leaves. If they leave, I'm back at zero and the channel needs to stop until I put together an entire team or find a person just like that. Whereas having 4 individual people who each do their role, one leaves, it's okay, we still have 3, I only need to replace 1 person. It's very unlikely that all 4 people are gonna leave in the same time. So hope that makes sense, guys. I do not recommend hiring a one-man show or a production agency or whatever because you don't want to be dependent on them, and this stuff doesn't really take much time to build. You can get it done in less than 2 weeks if you only put 5 or 6 hours per week into this. The second mistake that I see is that some people want to set up AI-only channels. And you might say, Ross, what is that? Well, simply put, an AI channel is a software-generated channel where you use AI like ChatGPT and other softwares to do all the work for you and you do not use real humans. Now, I'm currently working on a video on an experiment where I start a short channel and a YouTube automation proper channel using AI, but until then, I do not think that's the best option that you can have. I tried this myself with legacy AI, so before the ChatGPT era and before all the advancements that have been made with tech, I've been able to put together a channel using a tool called Jasper, which allowed me to write scripts very easy, Wilson Labs to do the AI for me. I had a thumbnail designer itself because again, AI wasn't as advanced as it is now, and also video editing software. But after I started that channel, I put it together, I started uploading some content, YouTube says, no, this is not original content, this is not enough value add, the channel is demonetized. So this is the information that I have right now, but again, I'm working on 2 experiment videos that you'll see here on the channel, so make sure to subscribe for more AI updates. And now here again, you might say, but Raz, I've seen a guy on TikTok or on Instagram saying he's been there and has done that. Now, I'm not saying that just doesn't work, I'm just saying that I've tried that, I ran the channel for 2 to 3 months, which is perfectly fine, then it got demonetized. Of course, we appealed immediately, we got rejected. I applied after 30 days, we got rejected as well. And by the way, that video is up on my channel right now and I'll pop it up on the screen for you to check. And again, does the other person have proof that they have been making money month over month over month with an AI channel? If they do, or if you do, leave a comment down below because I would love to check it out. My recommendation here would just be to wait a little bit more till you have some proof of concept, you see some other people doing it, because you don't want to be the guinea pig, especially if you're a beginner and you want to run this on a budget. Spending money and time on trying it with AI and then failing is not really a viable option. Just keep it simple, stick to the basics, and you'll be successful. Now, you will be outsourcing the entire production of the video, but you still need to know a little bit about what's going on and what makes a good video and what doesn't make a good video. So now I'm gonna walk you through what you need to look at and what you need to pay attention when it comes to the production of the videos. And here, I don't need you to do the work, but I want you to pay very close attention to the script, the thumbnail, and then make sure to come up with a very good title for the video. As I've said, getting your thumbnails on point is very important. Even if your content is top-notch, if the thumbnail doesn't do the work, if it's not attractive, the video will not get traction, therefore you will not make any money. Your thumbnail's main purpose is to grab the viewer attention. You want it to be a scroll stopper. Everybody's busy scrolling from video to video to video. When they see yours, you want them to stop, think for a second like, what is this? Let me check it out, let me explore, and that's how you know you have a good thumbnail, if people stop and then click on it to watch your video. Here are a few tips to make your thumbnail stand out. Tell a story. A lot of great thumbnails tell a story using the image. A snapshot, well, what will happen in the video will create a story in the viewer's mind. You're like, oh, this video about this, I am about to see this, and that anticipation that you create right there will make people click. This might sound obvious, but you gotta make sure that you have a high resolution thumbnail. A poor quality of thumbnail is indicative to the viewer that your video is also low quality, and in today's day and age, you need to have the best quality if you want to stay competitive. And lastly, flashes of color. The human eye is very attracted to colors that are contrasting to each other and will make the thumbnail pop. Try to keep things colorful and avoid simple thumbnails. Now again, what I recommend you do here is you look at your competitors. Do they have text-only thumbnails or they include graphics? Do they only use black and white or colorful thumbnails? Do they have one-side thumbnails or two-sided ones? Do they use celebrities in their thumbnails? What language are they using? The more you pay attention to this stuff, the easier for you it's gonna be to QC your thumbnail designer's work. But again, if you get an experienced person from the beginning, you might not even need to do all of this. The titles are the second half of the pitch to your viewer. You are saying, watch this video, not the other 20 that are next to it. Here are my top pieces of advice when it comes to coming up with good titles. Use language your viewers can understand as a glance. How this business made $1 million is better than how this business grew to $1 million ARR. Keep it simple. Make it relevant to the here and now. This is why titles like How to Build a Business in 2023 often do well, because people can see that it's relevant and up to date with the current situation. Promise value. How-to titles are great examples of promising value. They tell the viewer that this video is going to give them all the necessary information to do a specific thing. How to start a YouTube channel. How to make money with YouTube automation. You got the point. Promise to reveal secrets. This often works well to build intrigue with titles like 10 things you won't believe about X. And lastly, avoid total clickbait. Tempting people is one thing, but saying something that is completely not true and will not happen in your video at all will turn people down and they'll never most likely return to your channel, so make sure you don't do that. Don't get it crazy. One more thing you can do here, because you have a lot of people involved in the process, like the scriptwriter, the voiceover actor, and the video editor, you can ask them like, hey guys, if you have any ideas for thumbnail designers, Joe, our thumbnail designer, might use them as well. So you can basically get everybody to contribute and give ideas for the thumbnails, because they're very, very important, again, so you don't have to. Now, I quickly want to go over scripting tips as well, because there's a lot to cover, but I'll quickly summarize it. First, you want to start each video with a hook. You want to make sure you look at your competitors and you see how long is their hook. Is it 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and what do they do? Here are a couple examples. They can be sharing a fact, like almost half of the Americans don't have enough money saved for an emergency. I know, this is pretty bad, but it's a hook. I used to struggle with losing weight, but now I finally cracked the code. Here's what I did. They could be giving a tip right from the start. Most people don't know this, but budgeting is the best way to save money for the future. Secondly, you want to provide either educational value or entertainment value to your viewer through the video. Those are very high level concepts that you do not necessarily need to master in the beginning, but I'm giving them right here because this is a complete step-by-step in-depth guide, so make sure to stay until the end. What I'm saying here is that you don't want your content to be meh or not interesting at all. It should stand out in terms of quality, and you should have people want to watch it so they always come back for it. Now, the way you do this is you don't make the content yourself, you don't get crazy, and you spend a lot of time and a lot of hours trying to make content better, but instead, you keep a good feedback loop with your team and you look at what comments have to say on YouTube. Do people watch it? Do people like it? Do people not like it? Again, at the end of the day, you are the channel owner, not the person who's creating the videos. But still, you want to have a feedback loop, you want to know what's going on. My last point about scripting, guys, is call to actions. I see a lot of people who get call to actions completely wrong. And by the way, I've done a couple call to actions in this video already. I asked you to subscribe, leave a comment, and stay until the end. Those are the call to actions, but if you probably haven't noticed them, it means I'm doing a pretty good job. You gotta make sure your scriptwriter has subtle call to action and doesn't ask people to do something every 10 seconds. Hey, by the way, make sure to subscribe, and if you like the video, make sure to leave a comment, and then if you stay until the end, I'll give you this, and then also if you come back, we'll also get this. Like, that's too much, that's abusive, and that will drag your average view duration down, meaning people will get tired of it and will not want to watch your videos. Instead, what I recommend you do, or tell your scriptwriter to do, is only place 2 to 3 call to actions throughout the video. One in the beginning, one in the middle, and one in the end. And bonus tip right here, which you've probably noticed that I do with all of my videos, and I'll do with this one included, the call to action at the end is not to subscribe, like, or comment, but it's just to watch another video so you keep the viewer in the feedback loop. Now let's cover something that's gonna be more interesting for you, especially if you don't want to do any of the scripting, voice acting, editing, or thumbnail design yourself. This is gonna be for you. This is where you manage the channel and you are only the channel owner. Again, I just wanted to give you a little bit more advanced tips so you know how to handle all the situations if you want to get involved in the content creation process, but if you don't want to do any of that, then this is for you. By now, you probably understand what to look for, what exactly to tell your team, how to hire your team, how to put them together, how to find a niche. But here's the trickiest part. Management is one thing that I overlooked for so long. I didn't think people need to be kept accountable, people need to be given instruction, people need praise, and all that stuff. And in reality, that makes a night and day difference. Again, the team is 80% of this business, guys, so make sure you treat your team right. Let me give you a short version of what I called my freelance management philosophy. The first thing you need to do after you got your team on lock is to manage expectations. You gotta make sure there are no misunderstandings and everybody is on the same page if you want your team to work smoothly. Here, you can cover things like how is the payment being handled. Most freelancers will be very direct and upfront and will ask you from the beginning, but others are a little bit more loose. What you don't want to do is get to the payday where you need to pay everybody and realize that they wanted to be paid in crypto, but you do not have a crypto account. That happened to me, by the way. Instead, what you need to do is you have a one-on-one private conversation with everybody in private about how they like to do payments and what type of payment methods do you offer. Also, I like paying everybody at the end of the month, and I recommend that you state this. You do not ask about it. It's like, hey, when would you like to get paid? It's like, no. Here, we handle payments at the end of every month. Simply state how things are being done, and most people will not even care about it because they said, oh, I guess this is just how we do it, so I'll just get in line and follow what you just said because this might be the right way. And it really is. You definitely don't want to pay somebody on the 5th, somebody on the 4th, somebody at the beginning of the month, somebody at the end of the month. That would just add to your plate. And again, we only want to do this as the channel managers, channel owners with the least amount of time possible, and this will definitely save you a lot of time. The way this works is very simple. If I'm a video editor and I've edited 4 videos in the month of May, I will get paid on the last day of May for those videos. Now, if somebody has something against that, what you can do to build a little bit of relationship is pay them for 2 or 3 or 5 videos in advance so you can build the trust. And about building trust, this is also very important. You need trust to make this work. Another great tip when it comes to payments is paying everybody using the same payment method. That can be PayPal, crypto, bank transfer, card, whatever, but I would recommend you pay them outside of Fiverr or Upwork so you avoid the fees. Also, how is communication being handled? It's very important to set the tone from the beginning that you keep communication in one place. Again, this is gonna save you hours and hours and hours. Make sure to set up a Slack channel, Discord channel, WhatsApp group, Messenger group, whatever it is. Just make sure you have everybody in the same place and you do not have them messaging you on Fiverr or on Upwork, your personal phone number, they call you. No. Simply do not engage in any communication that's outside the channel, and if you do this correctly and if you state it from the beginning, people will understand and you'll have such a smooth collaboration. A critical question is how fast should the videos be delivered? I've been following a simple rule for all my content creation teams for about 2 years and it's working like clockwork. What I simply do is I add the content ideas on every Saturday. So every Saturday I go, do the research, add 2, 3, 4, 5 ideas, how many videos I want to create that following week, and I put them in the board. Once I do that, I notify my team that all those video ideas are due by next Sunday. So they basically have 8 days, they have a span of 8 days in which they need to work together, now with me, I'm not a babysitter, in which they need to take the script, the voice file, the video, and the thumbnail, put them together, and somebody is responsible to delivering them by next Sunday. If the team has already agreed that they can do the bandwidth that you want, either 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, 4 videos a week, asking them to work with each other, it's actually gonna be a good thing because again, being a freelancer is pretty lonely. They usually have one-night stand projects with people who do not care about them, so now being part of a team and being able to collaborate and work with other freelancers is gonna be a big plus for your channel. The only caveat to this, if you are in a time-sensitive niche, like celebrities or news for example. If something is about to pop every single minute, you wanna make sure that you have content being done faster than weekly. And again, the way you do this is just you address it. You gotta set expectations. Hey guys, there might be times where we need something done in 72 hours or 42 hours. Can I please have your consent that you are gonna do your best to get those videos done? I might pay you $1, $2, 10%, 20% extra for those videos if you really wanna be generous. But again, if you just state the expectations from the beginning, people will just agree, or if they don't agree, you just need to find somebody else. Lastly, revisions. We haven't really discussed this much because I'm not a fan, but on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, when it comes to big freelancer projects, people would want a revision for changing the color or changing the font or changing the wording. And again, I'm not a big time because I don't want to spend my time with those tiny details. So the way I handle this with my freelancer teams is that again, we have a meeting in the beginning where we all agree that we will only do revisions if something big or major needs to be changed, but I'll be very picky in the beginning when it comes to the quality of the videos. So for the first 5 or 10 videos, I will be that picky client. I will say, hey, change the color of this, change the font of this, change that, which will basically set the tone of like, oh, Ross is very picky, he wants the videos done in this way, we better do them this way because otherwise he's gonna ask for a revision again. Now I want to emphasize on this a lot because it seems like we're asking a lot for the freelancers, but this is just normal. This is just rules of collaboration and this is stuff that they are used to as well, or A players are used to as well, because otherwise you'll be caught up each and every single day on Slack, on WhatsApp, on Messenger, whatever it is, with the tiniest details. Instead, what I'm doing, which is making it sound like a lot of work, is stating them from the beginning. Hey, we need this, 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 and this. Do you understand? Do you want to emphasize more on it? Do you want to go more on it? Do you want me to remind it to you? Do you want me to not remind? Do you want to talk about this? Do you not want to talk about this? Again, it's just setting the guidelines of how you want things done from the beginning will probably save you tens, if not hundreds of hours over the long enough time horizon. And again, do not get scared of this. It's not going to take a lot of time. Nobody's going to die. People are not going to leave because of this. But on the other hand, I've had only positive experience where they said, Roz, I've never worked with such an organized channel. I've never worked with such an organized business. And as I mentioned in the beginning, guys, I'm not a very good creative. I've gotten success with YouTube automation because of this. This is my bread and butter. Being a good manager, being a good leader, being a good business person can take you much farther than being an artistic, creative person can get you. You actually need both. But again, if you get a team of content creators to do this for you, you can get away with it. You just need to make sure that you are a good manager and you do it in a timely manner where again, you do this on the side of your job, on the side of your business, or just as a passive income stream. Now, here are a couple crucial things that you can keep in mind when asking for revisions. Here's what I would ask and what I would not ask for when it comes to revisions. If the background music is too loud or too low, I would ask for the revision because this is critical to the quality of the video. If the background music is not matching the vibe or the niche, I would definitely ask because again, you don't want elevator music when things are very intense. The low quality of footage or inappropriate footage is definitely a big red flag, so I would ask for a revision. But as I said, for a different color or font, which might be just my personal preferences, I would not ask and I would not bother them for it. For a different style of transitions or animations, I would also not ask as long as the job gets done, because all we care about is the average view duration, which is the viewer's duration on the video, which is not like how much do I like the video, is how good the video is, which is hard to be objective about because we are subjective human beings. But again, you gotta take a step back and really assess the video and say, hey, is it worth having this person go back, edit it for 30 minutes, me review it again? Is it really gonna make a difference? Now you got a point. You gotta make sure you fix the big problems and then you are not so picky when it comes to the details, because revisions are not a sexy word, are not a sexy thing, and people do not really like being bothered like, hey, change this, change that, and that would most likely result in you having a higher churn, more people leaving your team than staying if you are very, very picky when it comes to this. And instead, again, just make sure you set expectations from the beginning and you're gonna have no problem with it. Now we've set the expectations with our team, we need to find out a system or a management tool that would allow us to keep everything in one place so we don't have files and video files flying around. The golden rule here is that you are not the middleman. You are not supposed to be the one who takes the script, sends it to the voice, takes the voice file, sends it to the edit, sends the edit, sends it to the thumbnail person to review, takes that, uploads it to YouTube. You should not be doing that, but instead, you should be using or building a very, very good, robust system from the get-go that would allow you to get out of the day-to-day of menial things like this. The way I have it set up, I clearly communicate with my team that again, the deadline is on Sunday, so they need to pass files to each other and notify each other. They must say, hey Alex, the voiceover guy, the script is ready, you can start doing your job. Alex then goes to the video editor and says, hey editor, I've done the voice file, here's the script, you need to do this, you need to edit it, do you need any help from us, right? You create this small micro team, you create this micro collaboration in between them, which they will appreciate because it gives them a sense of being a part of something, rather than just being, hey, I need a script, okay, here it is, bye. Hey, I need a voice, okay, here it is, bye. Right? Or here's the money, here's the money, here's the money. You want them to feel like they're part of something, which will eventually lead to them staying with you more. If you want to go more in depth and if you are picky about this, you need to talk to your team about the video formats, right? About the file formats. For example, what format should the script be? What format should the audio file be? What format should the video file be? What format should the thumbnail be? Personally, I do not care about this stuff. I just gotta make sure that they can use it one with each other and it works cross software. I've never had this discussion, but as I've worked with 3,000 people, this question has come up, so I wanted to mention with it. Now guys, if you've stayed until this point, I definitely want to congratulate you and I want to have a bonus for you. I gotta show you my software management tool that I use and the way I use it to keep my team managed, to make sure everything is organized, and to make sure I only spend less than an hour per week revising all of this. I know this might sound insane, but if you pay attention to what I'm gonna show you right now, you'll understand how that is possible. Here are the basics of my Trello setup. First, we have a Kanban board here that the whole team has access to. Different videos move along the board as they're worked on, going from needs script, to needs voiceover, to needs editing, etc. all the way to success when we've uploaded a video and it worked out okay. The board is also connected to Dropbox, which I find better than Google Drive, partly because it has more Trello integration options. This will let us store big MP4 files for editing, scripts, PDFs, and voiceover MP3 recordings. Then you just share the link to this board with everybody who's in your team and they'll have access to all the videos with statuses inside the Dropbox. They'll keep track of their work and they'll upload or download files whenever they need. You can create a new video idea by writing in a new card, and this will also let you insert links to similar videos. You can also tag team members, see the thumbnail, and loads of other useful stuff just to give your team as much data as possible so they can do a good job. At the end of the day guys, this is just a project management software and I would love for you to take this and be able to implement it in your YouTube automation business, but if you want to choose something else, here are a couple options. I've also heard and used Asana, Monday.com, and there are plenty of other softwares who do exactly this, but if you are a beginner on a budget, Trello is the way to go. Alright, so the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to managing your team guys is building a real connection. Most of the content creators are most likely used to one-night stands and single transactions as we have discussed. Nobody really asks them about how they are, how is their day going, sends them gift cards, maybe small gifts, remind about their birthday, and trust me, this goes a long way. Simply sending them a Christmas card, a small $10 to $20 gift card, or a book they talk about, anything really that shows them that you're happy to invest in the relationship can work wonders when it comes to getting great work and keeping the relationship alive. Try to keep it spontaneous though. Now guys, the final part of this complete training is how do we actually make money with this? We got a niche, we got a videos, we got a team, we're uploading them, we're managing them. What about the money, Raz? Now here's my 4-step system to make sure that you're squeezing as much as possible of your channel's potential without breaking the channel. At the top level, we have the massive way of monetizing your channel, which is YouTube AdSense. A couple things that we already discussed, but I would like to recap here is you need to keep in mind the RPM. Like we've already said, this comes from the ads shown before or during your videos, and it's the biggest net because it catches everyone except for YouTube Premium members who have paid to avoid ads. Your AdSense revenue is described as RPM or revenue per mil, and this is roughly how much you get paid every time your video gets 1,000 views. And lastly, for you to start earning YouTube AdSense revenue, you need to get at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 365 days. After that, you can apply for the YouTube Partner Program, get accepted, and some people can hit that target in less than 48 hours, but usually it takes up to 3 days. The next level is a little bit less passive, but basically requires no work at all. One of the big ones here is affiliate marketing. This is an easy way to make money, and where all you need to do is to find affiliate links that will let you earn a commission on the sales made. For example, you can easily sign up for the Amazon affiliate program and generate referral links for the best-selling products related to your video. Then, all you need to do is take the link, add it to your video, and watch the money hit your account. Keep in mind, this is just the surface level explanation. Another extremely passive way of monetizing your videos is CPA marketing. CPA stands for cost per action. You refer someone to a website and get paid a few dollars every time one of the people who click on your website signs up for their email's newsletter. Affiliate marketing and CPA marketing are both insanely good ways to make money. Just add the links and wait for the money to hit your account. But I wouldn't really recommend you start working on this or worrying about this or even learning about this until you have a good income stream coming for your AdSense. Because if you don't have enough traffic, affiliate marketing or affiliate CPA won't work. The third level is brand deals or sponsorships. Brands will pay you to mention them in your videos. It could be a 10-second mention or longer. All you need to do is negotiate a deal. This can take more time, but you should start by researching what other creators in your niche are getting paid for sponsorships. Either talk to them or find someone talking about that publicly. That will give you an idea about how much you should charge and what kind of promotion the brand is expecting in return. Once you understand the market and the value of your channel, you can start reaching out to potential brands to attract them yourself, not just wait for them to reach out to you. And finally, the last and the fourth layer of monetizing, which is a little bit more advanced, which is for the raving fans, it's selling your own products. For this, you really need to have a pretty decent audience and they need to be really engaged with your channel because keep in mind, it's much harder to buy from a brand that doesn't have a face attached to it than it is to buy a creator that you love. But if you can pull it off, it can be quite passive. So first, we have print on demand. Sites like Printful or Printify will let you upload your designs and they do all the legwork. All you need to do is direct traffic to them. For example, if you have a channel about cars, you can have a Printful store with designs based on your niche. People will then go buy your products and you get a cut of the profit. Secondly, you can sell your own digital products. With digital products, there's no limit to what you can create. For example, you can have ebooks, online courses, softwares, and apps. It's up to you to decide whether you want to go into one way or another, but again, I would like to mention, I really wouldn't focus about this in the beginning. First, keep the main thing. Get your channel to $5,000, maybe $10,000 per month, and only then go and explore those options. You also have exclusive memberships, which I've actually seen some channels do really well with. Now guys, these 4 levels of monetization will allow you to make sure that you're getting as much money as possible after the hard work that you've put in with your team. Now that you're fully set up and you know how everything works, let's talk about how do you improve? How do you get better at this? How do you make sure you actually get making money? The best way to analyze how well you're doing and how well the channel is doing, how well the videos are doing, and understand the whole engine of your business is YouTube Studio, also known as YouTube Analytics. When you have a YouTube account set up, you'll have access to the YouTube Studio where you can track all the data behind how well your videos are performing. There are a lot of complicated ways to read this, but today I'm going to break down 3 simple elements that you should understand and keep a track of if you want to improve your videos over time. The first one is impressions click-through rate. Also known as CTR, this is what percentage of people actually clicked on your video after YouTube showed them your title and thumbnail on the homepage or suggested videos tab. Second, I want to talk about watch time. You can find the watch time for all of your videos in the last 28 days and the watch time for each of your videos. This is just how much your videos are being watched in total. If a video has high CTR but a low watch time, it's a sign that people don't really stick around because they were underwhelmed or disappointed by the content. The same applies for your whole channel. You want to increase your overall watch time because that's a great goal to set for yourself. Roz, what can lead to a bad watch time? Well, there can be multiple things. Either bad concepts, bad scripting, poor production quality, or because you're using too much clickbait. Finally guys, and probably the most important, is audience retention. You need to get familiar with the retention graphs. YouTube gives you a graph for each of your videos, showing you how long the viewers watch your video before they clicked away. The steeper it goes down, the more viewers are leaving at that point in the video. The gray streak shows your average view retention, so this is a better than average view retention, but we always want to think of it like a bucket that is leaking water. You want to keep as much water, as viewers, in the bucket as you can all the way to the end of the video. That's because the better you are at keeping people watching YouTube, the more YouTube the company will recommend your videos to the viewers and the more money you will make from your channel. Also, try to spot patterns that make people stay around or click away. Maybe intros are too long or boring b-roll, and adjust that for your next video. When you've got your channel set up, find this data in YouTube Studio and get a little bit into a habit of checking your videos once a week. It'll only take you 30 minutes on a Saturday to see what's working and what's not working. Again, you want to improve your videos 1% every time. Do not try to be an expert. Do not try to be perfect. Now, without a doubt guys, I found that the fastest way to improve and the faster way to get to your goals faster is modeling after your competitors. I emphasized a little bit at the beginning of the videos of how important it is to model after your competitors, but now I want to take a minute to really go in depth with it. Let's say you're creating a YouTube automation channel around American football, and you've identified the very best competitor you have in that field. It's fair to assume that if you have the same video quality, the same title and thumbnail quality, you're doing similar videos to your competitors who are successful based on data, then there's a fair chance that you'll also become successful in a similar amount of time. So you want to treat your best competitor as your North Star. That's the blueprint for your success. Try to closely match their style of titles, thumbnails, and script and improve on it as much as you can. Always ask yourself, am I on the same level of them? Where can I improve? If you do not really get the same quality, you either need to work harder or find someone to give you an edge so you can compete with that channel. If you're not doing that, it's unreasonable for you to expect that you're gonna have a similar level of success to them. But guys, with this whole model thing, there's also one trap that I want you to avoid. Do not try to model multiple competitors very closely when those competitors have a different channel style. So let's take a look closer into the American football channel again. If you wanted to look at competitors, you'd see that both microphone and not sub sports channels are successful with around 650,000 subscribers each. But if you try to closely model both, you'd get confused. Why? Because they have a totally different approach. One is a news channel. Microphone posts almost every day and sometimes even twice and 3 times a day in a day like, what happened with this person, someone made a mistake, this team is making a huge trade. But non-stop sports is posting more rarely, like once a week. And instead, they're focusing on more evergreen, viral content with videos like top 10 worst contracts, how X become an NFL superstar, the strongest NFL player, stuff like that. The concepts are completely different and so are the title, the thumbnail, and probably the video style, even though they're in the same niche. Trying to do the both things at the same time is like trying to be an American football pro and a player pro golf at the same time. It's just not gonna work. What I want you to do is to model one single competitor, but do it closely. Now again, you need to do this with common sense. Modeling them doesn't mean replicating them. We talked about how replicating other people's content is not gonna make you money, so here, you just want to take as much inspiration as possible, use them as your North Star, and use them as a guide to what success look like. The closer you can get to them while still being original, the closer it's gonna be your chance to having success. Now, that doesn't mean that you do not need to pay attention to the other market, take inspiration from other competitors. You can definitely do that, but you gotta make sure that you have one North Star. That's why it's called that way. So guys, to wrap this up, if you follow everything that I've said here closely guys, and if you take this and go out there and implement it for your own YouTube automation channels, I can guarantee that you're gonna be one step closer to getting successful and making money with this business model. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I highly recommend you watch this one as well.